person has a right to protest.
Hey, good morning, YouTube. It is Friday, March 24th, 2023, 9:24 a.m. And I thought I would go, since it's a Friday, go and try to have breakfast at Bullock's. I was pretty sure they were opening at 9 a.m., but they've got new hours posted on the door. They don't open until 11 a.m. So yeah, that's not happening. And I'm not going to hang out for an hour and a half in this part of town. So since I'm in this area, I thought I'd just kind of drive through the lizard hotspots, see what's going on with that. And no action at all over at Palo Verde and 27th Avenue. But I noticed as I was going to turn left and go south on 27th Avenue, and then there was just too much traffic, so I figured I'd hang a right and then hang a left at Bethany, where I can get a green left turn arrow and just kind of roll through this neighborhood. And I noticed the police seem to be out kind of thick, maybe trying to do something about the ladies of the night working in the daytime. Anyway, I think I saw one turn onto Montebello as I was headed north, and my rearview mirror as I was heading north on 27th Avenue. So I'm just going to roll through and see what's happening. See if I can see the police asking what half-naked women on 27th Drive are doing. Or see if their presence has just scattered them and made them go away. I really never know what I'm going to see when I drive down this half mile of 27th Drive, but it's always interesting. Although so far not that interesting today, other than I see a bunch of wood pallets laying around. That one really thin, dark gal is usually always on that corner, and she's not today. Wow. That whole hot quarter mile on 27th Drive, and nothing. Of course, this isn't really the prime time for action, but shit, the other day I rolled through here at about 7 a.m., and I did see one gal out there trying to work it. So didn't see any police either, but I definitely saw flashing lights further south off 27th Avenue. Roll up this window so the traffic noise isn't overwhelming. I did see police lights further south off 27th Avenue on the east side of 27th Avenue when I was trying to turn left from Palo Verde and realized there was too much traffic and decided to turn right instead. So, and I did see this one cop tailgate somebody, got right on his ass, and then he turned right. I thought he was turning right on Montebello. The cop, not the guy who was getting tailgated by the cops. Kind of trips me out seeing that one house on the corner on the right there, all surrounded by chain link fence right now. Alright, so this is Montebello. This is the street that is the north end of that little stretch of 27th Drive. This is Solano. Maybe it was this street? Oh, maybe it was this street that I saw the flashing lights on. Oh yes, there's definitely some police action going down here. that was interesting. I really have no clue what it was. Y'all saw what I saw. It definitely did not look hooker related. Yeah, I can only speculate as to what that was about. Although I've heard the Nextdoor app is really good for finding out about things like that going on in neighborhoods. Just set this zip code as your neighborhood and look through and see if you could find out what happened. You know, I used to have an aunt and an uncle that lived around this neighborhood, but I don't remember exactly where they lived, and I'm sure they died many, many years ago. Their last name was Pig, so they were referred to as the Pigs, which just seems completely inappropriate, but hey, sometimes you just got to deal with the name that you have if you don't want to change it. So I know they were in more or less this neighborhood, but damn if I can remember exactly where they were. I think once upon a time this area of town used to be referred to as Alhambra, but I never hear it called that anymore. To be fair, you know, once you get off 27th Avenue, the neighborhood itself doesn't look that awful. Not when you consider what its reputation is. In fact, most of the houses on this street look pretty darn nice. Well, except for that one. I just passed on the right. That was not so good. And of course, the one on the left has got one of those big, ugly trucks on the lawn. That one's got a boat on the lawn. That guy's got 2 boats on his lawn. At least we know what his priority is. Boats. Oh, that guy's got a absolutely destroyed vehicle on jack stands in the front yard. Yeah, no, we're most definitely in the hood right here. And of course, this is the intersection that seems to always have working ladies working 24/7, but I don't see any right now. So I guess this is the time of the morning when they all go to sleep. 9:33 a.m. A little bakery on the left. I often see them on Lizard Hunter's video. I always see a lot of action going on in front of that building, but looks like a whole lot of nothing happening right now. For lease. I can only imagine what these apartments on the right rent for. I would love to see Big Super do an interview with somebody that rents in those apartments on the right. That would be epic. Have you guys gone to Big Super's channel yet? Have I bothered to link it in my descriptions? No, I don't think I have. I keep saying I'm going to link all these things, and lately I've been putting so many hours of just me talking to myself driving around Phoenix that I haven't I haven't been listening to all of them from beginning to end like I was doing there for a while, and I also haven't been doing any of the links. I have been pretty diligent about making sure that I have the time and the date in my video descriptions, and also noting what device I recorded it on. Although at this point it's pretty obvious looking. Oh yeah, that's the now getting kind of famous Periwinkle Mobile Home Park on the right. Oh, and it looks like they're getting ready to move one of those trailers that I drove by the other day. I see it up actually pulled onto the thing. Yeah, I went into some news video yesterday and kind of put my 2 cents in the comments section, and boy, there are a whole bunch of people telling me that I'm cold and terrible for not siding with the people that live there. Yeah, those people have had years to move, literally years. And meanwhile, here we are on the campus of Grand Canyon University. Pretty little college girls walking around, completely oblivious to the fact that they're a quarter mile away from, like, less than a quarter mile away from one of the worst hoods in Phoenix. Because now I'm on the campus of Grand Canyon University. It's a good Christian university. I find it interesting that those old fourplexes on the right, that they've kept them, and apparently that's student housing now. Grand Canyon University bus stop. Yeah, they got little buses, little shuttle buses for the Grand Canyon University campus now. I passed one the other day when I was vlogging through here. Never seen them before. They're like little go-kart bus things. It's kind of hard to describe them, but yeah, I saw those. And there goes a Valley Metro city bus. That would be a Route 50. It's always a little nerve-wracking turning from a side street onto a strode in Phoenix, because the speed limit is 40, but generally speaking, the traffic is going faster than that. On the right, that's all Grand Canyon University campus, which it extends damn near all the way to 35th Avenue now, on the north side of Camelback. Meanwhile, old John F. Long neighborhoods to the south. It's all kind of the hood now. This one not quite as bad as the one I went through. It's still not so great. Roll down my window a little bit. It's really nice out right now. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it's really, really nice out right now. Oh no, there's wind. It's going to make noise on my video. School zone. Better slow myself down. Not sure what school this is to the right, but they look like fairly recent school buildings. It looks like this school straddles both sides of the road, although it's very possible that there's a high school on one side and an elementary school on the other. It says BCHS, so I'd imagine the HS stands for high school. You know, as well as I know the city of Phoenix, I'm not really familiar with all the high schools. I didn't go to high school here. Now, had I stayed here during that age, I would have probably gone to Moon Valley High School. And of course, I knew where Moon Valley High School is. I'm the oldest of 9. I have 7 sisters. I'm older than all of them. The oldest of my sisters, which is she's about a year and a half younger than me, she went to Moon Valley High School. That's where I would have gone had I not moved from my father's home to my mother's home in 5th grade and gone to high school in Douglas, Wyoming. I'm familiar with some of the high schools in that area, like Cortez High School down on Dunlap near 35th Avenue. I have friends that went to Cortez. And Greenway High School, which was a little bit to the north. I had several friends that went to Greenway University. It's where Chester Benning, or I keep wanting to say Greenway University, Greenway High School. So on Greenway Road, also near 35th Avenue. Anyway, it's still going on there. That's kind of fun. Much older houses on the right side of the road here than the ones in the neighborhood. I would say they predate the developed neighborhood. Because the developed neighborhood's obviously a John F. Long neighborhood. They've got a very distinct look to them. And that was the main developer of the west side of Phoenix during the, I want to say from the late 60s all the way through the 70s and well into the 80s. So most of these neighborhoods in this part of town are John F. Long homes. But yeah, those houses on the west side of 31st Avenue, north of Indian School, definitely predating the John F. Long development. There's the old Jay's Cocktail Lounge, definitely out of business right now. We got a homeless guy there with his shopping cart full of garbage. God knows what he's up to. Used to be a really cool stray cat that hung out at this bar. I mean, literally stray cat. So we have a stray dog over here. A stray cat that just acted like its owned the place. Hopefully, when the owner of the bar, when she shut it down, hopefully she took the cat with her. But she used to leave the cat at the bar, and it'd walk through the bar. It'd walk through the bar during my karaoke show. It'd walk up to people, and it was very particular on who it would and would not let it pet it. I got some pictures of that cat still somewhere. But yeah, the cat definitely warmed up to me. The cat would come right up to me, and sometimes it would let me pet her, and sometimes it wouldn't. Just depended on the mood the cat was in. And another yard sale on the left. Very much a thing in this neighborhood. Yeah, this. In fact, if you go back to my vlog from a couple years ago, I want to say a couple years ago. Wow, that trailer there is totally what I was trying to get my hands on when I was a juicer for Lime. Like a truck bed with a hitch on it. Don't need one now. But I certainly wanted one then. But yeah, I've got several of my vlogs where back when my average video got about 4 views. Not that they get a whole lot more now. Now they get about 20 views, but anyway. Yeah, they had several where I'd be vlogging between, as I would drive from Jay's Cocktails over to Bullock's Cocktails. I was doing karaoke at both places simultaneously. It's kind of funny. I'm like, on my computer, I've got a directory with images of pretty much every book cover that I've ever used on my karaoke books, and most of them will list all the gigs that I have. And it's interesting watching them and seeing like the evolution of my show and like where I was hosting at. And granted, there were many years where it was just Gilligan's, and there was quite an extended period of time, I want to say nearly a year, where it was just Bullock's Cocktails. But during most time periods, I usually had at least 2 different bars I was hosting at any given time. Wow, Tacos de Cabeza over here too. And it does very much look like it's the same Tacos de Cabeza over on 32nd Street. Where you have a choice of 2 meats, brains or tongue. And I know to a lot of people that sounds really disgusting, but I assure you it's absolutely delicious. I've tried both. So I'm sure I've mentioned this on my vlog before, but the intersection I'm going under, this was the first gradient level, and by gradient I mean where there's one street goes over the other street, gradient level intersection in the Phoenix metro area. Grand Avenue, Indian School Road, 35th Avenue. That was the first one. Now most intersections with Grand Avenue are like that. Where one of the streets, instead of having all 6 streets intersect, which still technically all 3 streets, 6-way intersection, still technically all 3 streets intersect, but yeah, one of them through traffic goes open over. Wow, so that lot on the left has been fenced off. There was a very large homeless encampment on that lot on the left, but they've surrounded it with a big old fence, and they've got it empty now. Right there, that big lot there. There's several YouTube videos And I don't think I got any good footage of it, but there are several YouTube videos, mostly from local news channels, showing and talking to residents there. And that whole lot was looking like a cross between a giant homeless encampment and flea market. On one side there were people selling stuff, and on the other side people living in dilapidated RVs and tents and what have you. But apparently the property owner and or the city of Phoenix has gotten control of that one, because it's completely vacant now. You know, it's kind of funny with the homeless population these days. It's sort of like the city and the property owners are playing whack-a-mole. Just, you know, as soon as you smack one down, others pop back up. I mean, these people don't have anywhere to go. They don't just cease to exist when you run them off a lot. They find somewhere to be. Oh, am I going to get a green light to go straight? The sign indicates that straight is an option, but boy, the design of the intersection sure doesn't indicate that. As I said, it's all three streets go through, just most of the through traffic for Indian School Road goes up and over. So my banking stuff I was talking about the other day, I got that sorted out. Got enough money moved into my PayPal, and I got enough money moved into my Discover, and I went to that offer that I got for the headlight lenses, which I still need. And it expired. It did say on the email that it was only good for 48 hours, and I noticed that the date on it was like 3 days ago. So yeah, I missed that. Although I went and I looked at it, and it was back up to the full price. It wasn't giving me I followed the link in the email for the offer, and it didn't give me the price. But the email shows the price that it's being offered at. Like I had mentioned that it was just a 5% discount, and that's what was in the subject line in my inbox, and I hadn't actually opened the email, but I opened it, and it actually lists the price. And there was a comment from the seller that said, "Hurry to get a better discount," or something like that. And then the default text provided by eBay said, you know, it's only good for 48 hours. And so yeah, it took me to the item, but the promotional price was no longer offered in the eBay app. It was back to whatever the price, which it was less than I thought. I thought it was a little over $100. It was something like $90 or 80 some, high 80s, low 90s, something like that. I forget the number. I'm not good at remembering numbers. It was still a good price, and part of me wanted to sell it again, but then seeing like a price in my email and then seeing a higher price when I clicked for the link to purchase it just kind of made me not want to purchase it. Like, man, y'all couldn't wait another day while I got my funds sorted out. Well, that sucks. Fuck you. I'm not going to buy it right now then. And then what's funny is just about an hour and a half ago, I got another email from eBay, and I didn't look at it. I just saw the push-through message when the email came through. And I think it's telling me to make an offer on that item. Now, one thing I did do with it, and I've never done this before, but like when you save an item as a favorite item or wish list or whatever the hell eBay calls it, every website has this almost every shopping website has this functionality. I always call it something different, but and I know the icon that you click on is shaped like a heart, whatever that's worth in the eBay app. But anyway, I unsaved the item, and then I waited like 30 seconds, then I saved it again to see if maybe that toggled it as me just saving the item, to see if maybe that would prompt the seller to give me the offer again as somebody who just saved the item. I don't know. I'm just kind of playing with the seller, playing with the eBay algorithms, see what happens, trying to get me a deal. And there's a lot of traffic piling up in this right turn lane. I don't know if I can't remember if this is a double right turn lane. I know a lot of these intersections are where you can turn right from both of the right lanes, but a lot of times the one on the right will get jammed up and the one on the left won't. It doesn't look like it though. No, this is definitely right from the right lane only, and this lane is supposed to go straight. So that's fine. I'll go straight. And there's that homeless encampment I mentioned that is on top of the bridge. Oh yeah, that whole overpass. That whole Indian school overpass. Y'all see that? That whole overpass. Total full-on homeless encampment. And this is that one I was talking about the other morning when I drove over here at that trailer park on the right, looking super sketchy. Oh, and we got some people living in tents on the side of it along the street. This is such a great part of town. I swear this neighborhood was not like this when I lived here in the early 90s. Coming up on the apartment complex I used to live in with my roommate, whose name I can't... It was funny, I can't remember my roommate's name, but I can remember his parrot's name. His parrot's name was Buddy. That apartment complex on the right, that's the one I used to live in. It was a great apartment. God knows what that place is like now, but the whole neighborhood has gone to shit. Although I do like the fact that there's a traffic light here now, and a crosswalk with a traffic light here now. Because there didn't used to be, and there used to be regular pedestrian incidents right here. Now the Tidal Max Loan place, that used to be a Chinese buffet. And the Checksmart place, which is also basically Tidal Loans on the left, used to be 2 Pesos Mexican restaurant. And the Food City on the left, it used to be a brand new Albertsons. I think explaining the changes of just those 3 businesses alone tells you all you need to know about what has happened to this neighborhood since the early 90s. Because, yeah, when the Chinese buffet and the Mexican restaurant turned into check cashing places, you know the grocery, you know the neighborhood has gone to shit. Same thing when the Albertsons becomes a Food City. And mind you, when I lived there, that was a brand new Albertsons. Like the building had just been built. I don't recall what was on that corner before they built the new Albertsons. This wasn't really a part of town that I went to prior to becoming a cab driver. And then later, of course, getting my apartment down here. Kevin, that was the roommate's name. His name was Kevin. Sometimes the memories do come back. I kind of miss Kevin too, but I really miss his parrot. His parrot had quite the personality. I used to leave songs on repeat on my CD player, which was actually a Laserdisc player, but it also played CDs. Individual CD players were expensive back then, so I got a Laserdisc player that was also a good CD player, and that was my one player for all of that. Yeah, and on that note, for people wondering, well, what do I do to get a good CD player now? I don't see CD players anymore. Buy a freaking Blu-ray player and connect it to your stereo. I've yet to see a Blu-ray player that is also not a good CD player. Now, granted, some are better than others. So far, the best ones I've seen are the Sonys from about 8 years ago. Pretty much all of those not only are CD players, but they also support SACD and multi-channel SACD. Now, I don't think any of them will do DSD output, like a direct DSD output. They convert the DSD to something else, but if you know what that is, then you're probably not willing to settle for that level of a player anyway. But I'm quite happy with using them for SACD playback. My coworkers living at that budget lodge. One of my friends from Pollux also living there. That's one of those places that really takes advantage of people that can't afford to get for whatever reason, can't lease a regular apartment, which is very difficult to do. I am really blessed in my living situation right now that basically I did not have to apply to live in the apartment I'm in, that I had lived there as a person on a housing voucher program for years, and that my landlord was willing to just vouch for me to my landlord, by landlord I mean the property manager, that he was willing to vouch to the actual landlord, who is a fat cat property owner, investment property owner, who lives in California. I have no idea who the guy is. Never met him. Don't even know his name. But he was willing to vouch for him and say, hey, this guy's a good guy. He does other stuff. He hustles. He says he's going to get a job. Why don't we just leave him there, and let's do a thing where we can easily boot him out if he doesn't pay at the end of every month, and see how that works out. It's worked out pretty well. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm like on a traditional lease now, or if I'm still on that kind of specialized lease that they wrote for me. I really don't know. I just make a point to always pay my rent on time, or very close to on time. I might be late with it this month. I gotta, it's pretty much this last pay period that just came through, which actually I won't get paid until tonight, because it's Friday. Actually, you know what? No, it's Friday. Back before Wells Fargo started doing their early payday thing, it would usually go through, the direct deposit would usually hit right after I finished my show, my Thursday night karaoke show at Bullock's. I'd usually be sitting at the bar after the bar emptied out, waiting to get paid when the direct deposit would hit. So yeah, I'm past early payday window, and I'm into where I would have regularly got paid. Regardless, most of this paycheck's already been, I say paycheck, it's direct deposit. I think most people call their direct deposits their paycheck, even though it's not a paycheck anymore. Just like people call shooting digital video on their cell phones, they call it filming. There's no film involved. But yeah, my last paycheck that isn't a paycheck. Yeah, not really most of it already spent, but most of it just kind of had places it needed to go, other than me hanging on to it to use for rent. And I do believe my next one is also going to be kind of small. I don't think it's going to have any. I think not only is it not going to have any overtime on it, but it's also going to not have a full 40 hours on it due to me showing up late for work a couple of days during the week. So it's probably going to be as insignificant as my last one. And that plus what's in my checking account is a little less than what my rent is. So it's almost down to my wire. I've been with my finances definitely over a year. It's a little unnerving. And, if absolutely needed, I can always do another cash advance off my damn credit card, but I'd rather not. That resulted in a $25 service fee I wish I didn't owe. But I looked at the calendar. If I got to wait until my following early payday after that, I think it's just a couple days after when my rent would normally be due. And I think as long as I talk to my landlord about it in advance, if when I get my next payment it's not enough for me to just go get a money order, I'm sure he'll be fine and work with me on it, and even make an effort to make sure I don't have to pay a late fee. And there's Randolph Road. I haven't done any videos about Randolph Road in a while. There's not really much for me to show about Randolph Road that I haven't already shown, other than maybe walk through some of the stretches that I've gone through at night and do it in the daytime so y'all can actually see what's there. Someday I really do want to do a whole documentary on it, because information about Randolph Road is so scarce on the internet. But I'm sure if I did a little bit of deep dive into property records here in Phoenix and old maps at the State Archive Library, I'm sure I could sure I could find out some interesting information. At least information that'll be interesting to me. Whether anybody who watches my channel will find it informative, or anybody else on YouTube will find it informative, is up for debate. I'm totally wasting time right now. I don't really have anything else to talk about, but it's just kind of become habit at this point when I'm driving around Phoenix to talk to myself and shoot video. And I keep saying at some point I'm going to actually edit into shorter videos that are more YouTube friendly, but so far I haven't done much of that other than a couple of occasional shorts. I should work on that today. That'd be a fun way to pass time. Although what I should really be doing is cleaning my apartment. My bedroom is becoming problematic, and I desperately need to do laundry right now. Anything else to talk about? Priscilla finally relented and sent me a text message last night trying to stick to my guns. I have not. I did not even respond to it. Now, whether she knows I opened it or not, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I have my cell phone set to where it doesn't give any kind of confirmation back to let people know whether or not I viewed their text or not. Because I like being mysterious like that. I look at it as a privacy thing. In case y'all haven't picked up on it yet, Osborne Road is by far one of my favorite east-west thoroughfares across central Phoenix. Because sometimes I'm just not in the not in the mood to drive on a stroad, and I'm not always in a hurry. Sometimes it just feels nice to leisurely drive along at 35 miles per hour on a smaller thoroughfare. And Osborne Road is hands down one of the best ones. So I still haven't managed to recover the video I shot Thursday before last after I left the insurance company. I still haven't given up on it. It's still sitting on my Obamaphone, which is what I'm shooting video with right now, in case you couldn't tell. Wow. That guy in the white van up ahead on the right couldn't be bothered to wait at that red light, so he took a shortcut through the tire shop parking lot. I'm fairly sure that's illegal, but I've never seen a cop ever stop anybody from doing that. I don't know, to me, I just think it's horribly bad form. So I think this, whoa, yeah, get out of that lane, dude. I think this is Earl. I'm not sure if it's Earl Road or Earl Drive. You think I would know that by now. Earl Drive. This is what I call a quarter-mile thoroughfare. You can go across most of Phoenix on Earl Drive. Slowly. I still insist that Phoenix is a very bicycle-friendly city, just people don't know how to do it right. Because if you're driving on Thomas Road, you're not doing it right. If you're driving on the bike lanes on Osborne, you're kind of doing it right. You're doing it all right. But if you're driving on, if you're riding your bicycle on Earl, you're totally doing it right. But you can do better than Earl. And this is where I walked the other day when I shot that video after after I left the insurance, my insurance agent, the one that is corrupted, sitting on my Obamaphone that I've been unable to uncorrupt and upload. But this is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful streets in the entire city of Phoenix. But Pinchot, starting at 25th Street, going between 25th Street and 26th Street. So this eighth of a mile here. It doesn't have sidewalks. But God, I just love these huge trees and these permanently installed Christmas lights, which are kind of hard to see. Can you see the peace sign up above me there? And all the houses along it are old and beautiful. None of them have been bulldozed to make way for a McMansion, at least not yet. Granted, some of the mature trees have been cut down and have died, but still more mature trees than I can think of on any other quarter mile of a street in the city of Phoenix. The fun sort of ends right there as I cross 28th Street. And we got new little houses where you don't actually own the property on the right, and older houses on the left that aren't nearly as cool. And then it ends right here at 29th Street. Oh, well, you can do a quick right, quick left, and a quick right, and keep going down Pinchot. This is also a damn good route if you're on a bicycle. You're trying to get across town. Again, like if you're on a bicycle and you're going down Thomas, you're not doing it right. If you're using the bike lanes where there's still quite a bit of vehicle traffic on Osborne, you're doing it okay. But if you're going down Pinchot, and then when you see the sign that says Dead End Street on Pinchot, so you just go north and realize that Avalon is also a dead end. But then when you get to the stop sign at Earl, it's not. As Earl, as I said, is a quarter-mile thoroughfare, which means, generally speaking, it goes through. Oh, look, that corner house is for sale. I can only imagine how expensive that is. That's still dream house category for me, just saying. Yeah, not nearly as many trees on Earl, but still. Hardly any vehicle traffic to speak of. Speed bumps, so what little bit of vehicle traffic there is slows down. And while granted, you don't have traffic signals to get you across the Stroads, as we're coming up to the next grid mile street, Strode, which is 32nd Street, it's usually not that difficult to get across. At least this one has a nice marked crosswalk on the left, and it's marked in yellow, which means that during school crossing hours, it's technically a school crossing, and there'll be school crossing guards here. But as you can see, the timing of the lights makes it super easy to get across. And almost all the quarter-mile thoroughfares in Phoenix, where they cross the major Stroads, like 32nd Street, 24th Street, and 35th Avenue, and so on and so forth. Yeah, most all the intersections work just like that. You get to it, just be a little bit patient, you'll get a nice big gap in the way the lights are timed, and you cross just as easy as I did. Which, this is not the route I recommend taking in a car, but on a bicycle, this is definitely the way to get across town on a bicycle. And on a bicycle, I tend to ride about the speed that we're driving right now. Doing a little over 20, about 25 right now. I don't see a posted speed limit on it, but I think as a general rule, a residential street in Arizona without a posted speed limit, kind of funny the way speed law is in Arizona. Posted speed limit is not an absolute. The speed statute in there it is. It's posted 25 miles per hour. The speed statute, wow, and look at that development going in on the right. Holy crap, that was not there the last time I went down the street, or at least I did not notice it. Those are tall. I bet they had to get a had to get a variance from the zoning board to make them that tall. That seems a little taller than they generally are. Wow, and here's another one a little bit further down. Exact same building plan, it looks like. Earl 6. Tried to convince a good friend of mine to buy a duplex on this street, and he decided against it. I forget the reason, but just kind of, there was, I don't know, cosmetic shit. Decided against it mostly because of cosmetic shit on the building. And then I looked at the property and looked at what it was selling for and how sturdy the building was, and I'm just like, dude, it's a cinder block building. Whatever's inside it, it can be completely wrecked. And the price he's offering for you right now is a good deal. Prices in this neighborhood are going to freaking skyrocket, and I was right. I was totally right. And it's funny because you still see some kind of dumpy houses here. But if you look, like the new builds that are going in, they're impressive. And there's some new ones going right in there behind. You can see the wood frame behind these houses here. And you can see those new builds are also very nice. And here we see some of the old shack types. That one looks like it recently got renovated, but still looking like a little shack. And yeah, that's either that one or that one there. Or maybe it's that one there. No, it wasn't that. It was one of those three there. It was the one I was telling my friend he should buy. I forget what the price was, but whatever it was for a duplex, you can't even touch a dumpy house for now in this neighborhood. Oh, I just ruined the whole Earl effect by turning off Earl. I was trying to show you all what a great thoroughfare Earl is. Although, when I used to bike a lot, what I just did is something I actually used to regularly do. Like if I couldn't drive straight across, if I couldn't ride my bike straight across the intersection because there was traffic, I just turn right with the traffic, kind of drift myself across the street, and then turn left at the next thoroughfare. You know, next through street. Wow, we got another new build going on the left. Yeah, and this is one of those neighborhoods that's just such a hot neighborhood that, as you can see, you got old house on the left, new build on the right, and then old build on the right, and then new build on the right. But yeah, investors are buying up these older houses, these older kind of modest houses in this neighborhood, and they're building stuff like this. That's a new build. That's a remodel, but it certainly looks new. And that one's been renovated nicely, but it gives you an idea what the houses were like in this neighborhood before they started getting knocked down and replaced with stuff like that and like that. There are times I think about getting a real estate license. I think I'd do well as a realtor. Just saying. I've had realtors tell me that as well. Just my general knowledge of streets and properties and whatnot. Oh, I can't turn left on that one. I can see it's got a dead end sign on it. It's got a no outlet sign on it. In fact, none of these ones south of Earl will go through. But I'm on another quarter-mile thoroughfare. While I'm on the subject of quarter-mile thoroughfares, 42nd Street, that's another one. Riding a bike on 40th Street. Hey, it's 30th Street is a lot like Osborne. It's got bike lanes on it. It's kind of a minor local thoroughfare, not to be confused with a big ass strode. 44th Street, riding your bike on 44th Street is just suicide unless you're on the sidewalk, and then it's just damn unpleasant. But 42nd Street, which is right in between, aside from the fact that it's kind of difficult to cross Thomas, and I really wish Phoenix would put a hawk here. Is it clear? About clear on the left. Oh, we still got some random cars on Okay, I got a guy turning left on the 42nd. He's definitely got the right of way over me. And now one car's coming on the left. No, it's clear on the right. It's not clear on the left. Oh, there goes another self-driving car. That's a Cruise. Hope you all saw it. Not to be confused with Waymo. Cruise is another one of the local self-driving vehicle companies. They're doing primarily, from what I understand, they were doing delivery for Fry's grocery stores, but I don't think they're doing it anymore. Now I think they're doing primarily delivery for Walmart. Now I do believe all of their vehicles, their self-driving vehicles, have drivers sitting in the driver's seat, but they're not actually driving the car. They're just supervising and being ready to take over should the self-driving algorithm make a mistake. I watched another video last night of a YouTuber riding around in a Waymo vehicle. Really cool video. It's a YouTuber I've never seen before, but apparently he does have a following. And I don't remember his name because, again, it's not a YouTuber I'm familiar with. And apparently this guy does mostly car reviews, just from what I gathered, not looking at his channel, but looking at the comments on that video. And just the stuff the guy was talking about, other than just, being in a Waymo. I had a really strong accent, so I have no idea where he's from. Definitely doesn't sound like he's from Arizona. No, he flew into Sky Harbor. And he mentioned in the comments section that he flew in specifically for the Barrett-Jackson auto auction to cover it for his YouTube channel. But while he was here, he also did a really good video about riding. Oh, another yard sale. Another video about riding in a Waymo self-driving transportation taxi service vehicle. So kind of interesting to see somebody who's not from Phoenix covering that. Best video I've seen so far of a YouTuber from Phoenix covering it is Big Super. In fact, so far those are the only videos I've seen about it, is Big Super, and I wish I could remember the other guy. But hey, maybe I'll remember to put the link in my video description. Maybe I'll remember to do that. Yeah, you don't get the right of way, dude. I'm going straight. Oh, $2 at Costco for pizza, or go home and eat a bologna sandwich that I've already paid for. I think I'm going to try to save the $2 and get the bologna sandwich, since I'm genuinely nervous about not having enough next pay period to pay my rent. And the homeless people have drifted back on the park side of the fence. Yeah, it didn't take long to keep them off of that little corner of the park. No shock there. Oh, by the way, I said I was wanting to go to Rocky Horror Picture Show on Saturday night. I have not purchased my ticket. I need to do that as soon as I get home. And hopefully there's still tickets available, or I'm going to feel like a fucking idiot. But I did get vacation time approved for it. So I'm getting vacation pay to not work on a day I was not scheduled, that I picked up as a VET day while I worked the second half of it. And you gotta love the glitches in Amazon's A to Z. So because the actual shift is 7 p.m. to midnight, lunch from midnight to 12:30, and then the shift continuing from 12:30 to 5:30 a.m., I put in my request for time off being from 7 until midnight, assuming I would show up at 12:30, because there's actually no work being done between midnight and 12:30. Everything shuts down. That's everybody's lunch break. I didn't want to waste an extra 30 minutes of vacation time, right? Use as little of that time as possible for the accomplished goal of going in after lunch and hitting the second stand-up and then working the second half shift. Anyway, the app has me scheduled now, and it did change it from a Saturday night shift to a Sunday morning shift in the app, but it actually has my shift starting as midnight. So presumably, if I clock in after 12:05, it'll try to give me UPT for not clocking in on time. So I'm going to have no choice but to show up and clock in at midnight, or maybe as early as 11:55, and just hang out in the break room for 30 minutes and get paid for it. I don't see that I have any other option. That's just what I'm going to have to do. Stuff like this makes me love Amazon, not going to lie. Anyway, thanks for coming with me on the drive.